Hello guys! So today I'm going to show you a few little makeup mistakes that we've all been through, well I have anyway, and showing you guys some techniques and tips that I've learned that's made my makeup more natural and flawless. So the left side will be the good side and the right side will be the one where I show you guys some common mistakes we've all made and hopefully help you guys out a little. Also I have this massive pimple on top of my lip just casually chilling there and haunting my life, but that's okay, it's life. Starting with foundation, I'm using a yellow toned foundation on the left, and typically for Asian skin tones, yes, we are more yellow, and so picking the right color is really important to achieving the most natural look. And I'll often mix two different foundations to get the perfect shade, and it's really important that you blend it down onto the neck and that the foundation is the same color as your neck. Otherwise, it'll give you that mask effect, and then everything else that you put on top of your foundation will end up looking heavily made up, and we don't want that. So on the left side, you can tell that the foundation I'm using is way too pink in tone and is also too light for my skin and neck, and clearly does not match my skin. Usually our face is a little lighter, but you should always match the color of foundation to your neck. I know a lot of girls want to look lighter and fairer, but choosing a really light foundation is not the way to achieve that. So for powder, I like to use a translucent or loose powder to set the foundation and mattify the face. I just feel that if you already have coverage with the foundation, you don't need to add another layer of color and make the makeup look thicker and heavier. And guys, it's really important to know that a setting powder and a powder foundation are two different things. Powder foundations are designed to be used alone as foundation because they have a much higher coverage and is thicker in consistency. So if you put a powder foundation on top of your foundation, it's like the ultimate thickness and you won't look the most natural. Okay, so for bronzing and contouring on the left, I'm lightly contouring my cheekbones and giving myself, more structure and concentrating most of the powder on the outer edges to mimic that sculpted shadow. Also using a contour brush that fits right into the hollows of the cheeks and then blending it slightly upwards will give you the most natural effect. It just gives a nice natural definition to the side profile of the face. And for the right side, I'm using a bigger bronzing type of blush and kind of spreading that all over the side of my cheek area and on the forehead and under the chin. So you can tell more of the difference between the two applications in the next step when I apply blush. Okay, so when you apply blush on the left side, I'm putting that just above the contoured area and blending them in together, and also onto the apples and blending that up into the temples. So it gives a subtle flush to the cheeks like you're blushing or just naturally flushed and youthful, because that's the whole point of blush. On the other side, because the bronzer is already all over the cheeks and under the cheekbones, when I apply the blush, it kind of mixes in with the bronzer and looks more muddy and unnatural, and also looks really dark, which is not the most natural look. It kind of just like you went ham on blush. A tip when applying blush is the fluffier the brush is, the easier the application because it won't apply as intensely, but the denser your brush, the more product it will pick up and spread on the face. So yeah. So if you have a really pigmented blush, just use a fluffier brush. Eyebrows really have the power to make someone look really attractive because it frames the face and makes the eyes really stand out. So everyone will draw their brows differently, but for me, I like to keep them natural and just enhance the arch a little bit and extend the tail. And also at the front, make sure it gradually fades in and isn't too harsh, and most of the product is towards the tail end of the brow. When you make your brows too dark at the front and kind of block it off at the start, it'll give a really angry and harsh look. Also, if you don't blend out the lines and they're too straight, it also tends to look less natural. So remember to use a spoolie and brush out the lines and soften it towards, the middle and the end sections. So we know eyeliner makes the eyes look bigger and longer, and it's like the best thing that could have happened to women, but the way we draw the wing will really affect the shape of our eye and whether it makes you look more tired or droopy, or it'll lift and elongate the eyes, which is what we want. The wing should extend out and kind of follow the direction of the lower lash line, which is kind of hard to explain, but you can see on the other side when the wing is drawn too low and goes below the bottom lash line, it actually drags your eye down, and even though the wing is big, it doesn't help to make your eyes look bigger at all. And also, I clearly failed and got it all over my eyelid, which is also a struggle when you draw a wing that's too thick and you have small eyelids. So when using a pencil liner on the bottom lash line, I find the most flattering way is to just apply it on the outer third of the eye and then smudge it out with a pencil brush. This gives you the most natural shadow and makes your eyes look rounder and larger. Whereas if you just draw a stark black line and leave it like that, it actually closes off the eye and makes it look really small. It also looks Egyptian, like Cleopatra or something. So remember to always smudge it out. For mascara, the best way is to brush the lashes upwards, really working it into the roots for the most lift. And a tip for applying mascara on the bottom lash line is the less product, the easier and better it'll look. So I usually just use whatever's left over on the brush to apply to the bottom lashes. On the left side, instead of brushing upwards, I'm kind of brushing it sideways, and this will make your lashes clumpy and stick together and undefined, which is not what we want. Then on the bottom, if you re-dip the brush and apply the mascara on the bottom, there's too much product on the brush and it makes the lashes blotchy, it gets all over the lash line, it makes the lashes look blotchy and it gets all over the lash line and clumps up the bottom lashes. Especially when you don't have many bottom lashes, this is an absolute nightmare to fix. So a tip is to either just use the leftover product on the brush from the top application or scrape off most of the product first when you're taking it out of the tube and then apply it to the bottom lash line. So you can see on the right the lashes are gluey and stuck together and undefined, and also there's too much mascara that got onto the bottom lash line and it leaves a mess. So I know everyone and their mum loves highlighting these days, but I feel like less is definitely more, especially when you're not filming or taking pictures, because real life is a whole different story. So I like to take a little and brush it on the tops of the cheekbones, around the outer eye and above the arch of the brows. It gives you a really dewy glow, which is what highlighting is for. If you put too much highlighter on the entire cheek area, one, it looks really unnatural, like only your cheekbones have sweat glands or something, and two, if you have uneven skin texture, it'll enhance any imperfections and pores because you're drawing more attention to that highlighted area. And so because I have pores in that area, the last thing I want to do is accentuate that unevenness even more. When you're contouring the nose, I like to take a little bit at a time and lightly shade in the sides and then kind of connect it to the front area of the eyebrow, and this will help make the bridge of the nose look taller and slimmer as well. If you take too much product and try blend it out, it just looks like a brown blob and defeats the whole purpose of contouring, and instead of making your nose look slim, it just looks like brown. And I feel like if you don't take it up and blend it towards the brows, it can look a little strange as well, like it's disconnected. But as I said, this is what I find just works for me, and it might not be for everyone. So lastly, for lips, I love using lip liner and overlining, but I think there's a point where it gets a little too much, where you can tell that the lip liner has run away too far from home. Anyway, so use a matte lip pencil and draw the liner just above the natural lip and extending it out a little bit. If you take the liner too far out, you can see where your normal lip starts and the fake line, and it's a bit yeah, Pamela Anderson-ish. And then also try to use a lip color that's complementary of the lip liner as well, so it doesn't look too fake. So those are my little tips, guys. We all go through it and I've been through it, and as I said, this is just what I find works for me, but I think is very flattering on a lot of people. It's all about trial and error because everyone's different. But yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. Make sure you leave any comments about what you guys want to see next or anything like that, and I shall see you guys next time. Bye!